Welcome to the Anna Gale Lines podcast. I'm your host, Anna Gale Lines, and today we will be discussing a topic that is fundamental to our personal growth and happiness. That is letting go of that which no longer serves us. I'm sure you've had friends and family and jobs and activities in your life that no longer serve you, that you no longer feel connected with, and that serve no real purpose in your life and are just toxic. And we need to let go of those things which no longer serve us, that are not making a difference in our lives. Life is a journey filled with experiences, relationships, and possessions. And as we navigate this path, it is essential to recognize that not everything we encounter will continue to enrich our lives. It's like being in a play. Some characters are on stage most of the time, and some only have fleeting moments. They have cameo appearances. And those are the things that we need to let go of. So we need to not hold on to those cameo appearance people or activities and keep them as long-term players. They are there for a purpose they're there to, propel the story along, but they are not there to be main characters. So we need to determine which are the main characters in our lives and which are the cameos or the people who were long-term players but are now cameo people. So we need to recognize that in our own lives. Sometimes holding on to things that have outlived their purpose can hinder our progress and prevent us from embracing new opportunities and personal growth. So, like with the play analogy, okay? So if we keep those cameo people on stage, it's going to hinder our story from moving forward. We need to think of our lives as stories, and we need to get to the conclusion of our story, our destination, or our purpose for our lives, where we're supposed to be. But we can't do that if we hold on to people who are no longer supposed to be there. If we hold on to things and activities that are no longer supposed to be there, that no longer serve a purpose. So letting go is not an easy process, as it is often involving facing change and uncertainty. And most people do not like change or uncertainty. They don't like that X factor. However, by learning to release what no longer serves us, we create space for new possibilities and new experiences to enter our lives. So we have to clear out the old in order to put in the new. So if you want something new in your life, you need to get rid of the clutter, get rid of the things that no longer serve you. So there will be a space for this person. There's only a limited amount of space on our stage, and we can't have everybody who's ever been in our lives still on this stage. We have to, make room for new players and new activities and new opportunities. Today, I will share with you some powerful reasons and practical strategies to letting go, as well as the benefits it can bring to our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Recognizing what no longer serves us is the first step. The first step is to let go by recognizing the aspects of our lives that have become stagnant or detrimental. This could include toxic relationships. Maybe you're in a toxic relationship, an abusive relationship. Maybe the partner is not even being physically abusive, but they're being toxically abusive in a mental or emotional way. They're gaslighting you, making you think you're the problem all the time, 100% of the time, and they're never the problem. That is one major sign that they are gaslighting you, is that they never take responsibility and they blame you for everything. This could also include outdated beliefs, negative thought patterns, and material possessions that hold us back. It's time to evaluate these aspects honestly and without judgment. So maybe you have some outdated thinking. Maybe you grew up in the church who believed that women couldn't preach, women couldn't teach. The only purpose for a woman was to be at home and take care of the kids and to please her man. And for a lot of us who are 50 and not married and without children, that leaves us out of the equation. So what is it that we're supposed to do? I mean, it doesn't make too much sense. I'm not questioning it. What I am questioning, and because that was part of that culture, but what are women like me supposed to do? But there is still a purpose and a plan for my life. There is not, I am here for a reason. And maybe that reason was not to have children, or maybe not to be married, or maybe it's not the right timing for being married. But those are notions that I had to get rid of. I had to break down those notions, because if that is my only purpose in life, to cook and clean and take care of children, then there is no purpose for me. And I think there are a lot of women in society who grew up in the church, and that is their reality as well. We also have to get rid of negative thought patterns, because too many times I will think that I'm not good enough, and I will think that I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not talented enough, or I don't have anything to say, which is far from the truth. But because I can out-talk almost anybody. But too many times we put ourselves down. Before anybody else could put us down, we put ourselves down. We are our own haters. And we have to break down those barriers in order for us to fulfill our goals and dreams. Because if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody else is going to. We have to believe in ourselves first. And then there are some things some material possessions, like, we keep things that are broken. Like, if you ever watched The Big Bang Theory and you see that Sheldon has this storage room that has got everything that he's ever owned in it, even the broken stuff, like his broken laptop, which was the reason they were coming to the storage facility. But we've got to get rid of the clutter. It causes us to feel depressed and weighed down in our lives when we keep things that no longer serve us. We need to embrace change. That's the second step. Because change is inevitable and life is constantly evolving. By accepting change as a natural part of our journey, we can learn to navigate transitions more gracefully. Embracing change opens doors to opportunities and growth, propelling us toward a more fulfilling life. Now, change is scary. Plain and simple. A lot of us, especially people who are in their heads like me, will always worry about what is coming. Like worry about whether I can pay the rent, or worry about my job and if it's always going to be there. Worry about stability and safety. But we will survive. No matter what happens, we will survive. And I don't think that is the thing that we're looking at. Change can be good. Change can propel us towards our destiny and our goals. But too many times we hold ourselves back, keep ourselves in our comfort zone, and we refuse to move on. We refuse to step out of our comfort zone. And we need to break free from the past. Holding on to the past can weigh us down and prevent us from moving forward. Whether it's our past mistakes, our past regrets, or the nostalgia of the past, or learning to forgive ourselves and others, we need to forgive. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive others. We need to especially forgive ourselves, because too many times, like I said, if you're in your head, You're going over those past mistakes. You're going over, you were a waitress and you forgot to give that Diet Coke over to table number 10. And that was 20 years ago and you're still thinking about it. Or the way you acted in a relationship when you were 23 versus how you react now in that relationship. You didn't have the tools at that point. You weren't grown up enough to have that, to act any different in that relationship. So instead of, rehearsing it in your mind about all these past things that you did, all these past mistakes, we need to move forward. We need to learn from it and move forward. But the problem is a lot of us hold on to those things and we don't forgive ourselves. We need to forgive ourselves and we need to forgive others who have done us wrong, because otherwise we are never going to move forward. And we need to release the emotional baggage. Unresolved emotions can be a significant burden, affecting our mental health as well as our emotional health. By addressing and releasing these emotions, we free ourselves from emotional baggage and open ourselves up to more positive experiences. Many of us have had some kind of trauma in the past. Nobody gets away with a trauma-free life. There are no trauma-free people. Whether it be something that your parents did, something that happened to you when you were younger, being in a toxic relationship, whatever it is, nobody gets out of life unscathed. There is nobody who doesn't have some amount of trauma and personal baggage in their lives. But we need to let go of that personal baggage. We need to let go of those emotions that no longer serve us. The hatred towards somebody else, the self-loathing, the guilt over somebody surviving or us surviving when somebody else didn't. We need to, get rid of that, let it go. Because if we don't let it go, it's going to eat us up inside. And we need to create healthy boundaries. Letting go also involves setting healthy boundaries in our lives, in our relationships, and our commitments. This allows us to prioritize our well-being and focus on people and activities that truly align with our values and aspirations. We need to find our tribe. Because too many times we stay with people who are not our tribe, but they're people who, we've always known. They're our friends from high school. They're the people we used to associate with when we were playing on the streets back in the day. Or we've met them they were coworkers with us at a job. But if they no longer align with us, they don't understand our purpose, and they're not like-minded. Although, people with differences are great. But if they don't understand why we're doing what we're doing, they're not our tribe. They're not our soulmates, our kindred spirits. We need to surround ourselves with people who understand. They may be from different backgrounds, but we need to, embrace our differences and embrace our similarities and find common ground so that we can become friends and the tribe and, gel together so that we can move forward in our purpose and our plan. And we also need to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for letting go of negative emotions and experiences. Like every morning, I have this bracelet that I wear with beads on it, or that I wear around my wrist. And every morning, I will say one thing that I'm grateful for each bead. I saw this movie called The Blessing Bracelet, and I took that to heart. And so every morning I am cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Because if I don't, then I'm going to dwell on those negative things that are happening in my life. Those things that are lacking in my life. The things that we wish we could have, but we don't have. Which brings us to another point. We need to live in the present. We need to let go of the past and stop fixating on the past. Because we can't change the past. Unless you're a time traveler, you can't change the past. And you can't change, well, you can change the future, but you can't change things unless you focus on them. So we need to focus on the future, focus on our present, and how we can change the future through our present. We need to live in the present and make right choices in the present. Because if we don't, then we are going to have the same life we have now in the future. So we also need to be mindful of the choices that we are making in the present. And we need to appreciate what we have in the present. Because we need to find joy in the small things. And we need to stop focusing on, what we can't change from the past. We need to focus on what we can change. And we need to redefine success and happiness. Society often defines success and happiness in narrow terms. They've got tunnel vision. But letting go of those definitions, the definition of, you've got to be on a magazine, or you got to have the paparazzi after you, or you've got to have $1 million startup, or, you've got to be a success on Facebook and Twitter, and everybody needs to know your name, and you got to have a reality show. These don't define success for you. What defines success for you? What defines happiness for you? Is it taking care of the kids and taking care of your husband? Is it a startup? Is it, speaking around the world? Is it traveling the world? Is it living simply off the grid in a tiny house and pursuing your hobbies? What is it for you? Is it adopting children? You got to find out what your definition of success and happiness is. And then we need to embrace self-compassion. I know I'm very bad at this. We need to be kind to ourselves. Because too many times we are our own haters. The people in the comments, they're hating on us, but they don't hate on us as much as we hate on us. But we need to, show ourselves some compassion. We need to show ourselves some kindness, because we are only doing what we know to do in that time period with the tools that we have. So the way we react in this situation is because that's from the experiences and tools that we have right now. We can't, we can't operate from our future selves. We can only operate from what we know now. So we also need to open doors to new opportunities. We need to let go of what no longer serves us, and we need to create space for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences to enter our lives. We need to do things that we've never done before. We need to go to classes that we're interested in at the community center. We need to meet new people. Maybe go and plan or write or, do whatever we do creatively at a coffee shop. Maybe we need to, go to one of these meetup groups and meet new people. Maybe we need to online date, do something different, something that we haven't done before, or if we have done it, do it now in a different way. But we need to open the door to new opportunities, because if we don't step out of our comfort zones, we are never going to propel ourselves in life to where we want to be. In conclusion, letting go of those things that no longer serve us is a courageous act of self-love and personal growth. It empowers us to take charge of our lives, to create positive change, and embrace the fullness of our potential. Remember, it's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing lifestyle event of being aware and making conscious making decisions. So we also need to, look at our lives and self-reflect. And we need to plan how we're going to do things differently. But as you leave this podcast today, I want to encourage each one of you to reflect on the areas of your life that need letting go of, and to embark on the liberating journey of letting go of what no longer serves you. Embrace change, practice self-compassion, and be open to the transformational power of releasing what no longer serves you. Together, let us step into a brighter and more fulfilling future. I believe in you. Until next time.